Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Bobbi Pominville, and I'm your reporter on the arts and music. And something just has to go with that, and it's dance. And I've always loved it. So I have two guests today. Both are choreographers. I admire both of them very much for what they do, and they work at the Phipps. First, welcome to Christy Leines. Nice to have you here today. Mm-hmm. And she has, let's see now. You've got a degree from Moorhead State. I know where that is. I grew up in that area. In medical records science. Yep. Wow. Well, science kind of goes with music, I think. Mm-hmm. And she also has musical theater from NDSU. Mm-hmm. And you must know from what I've said on other shows, it's North Dakota State University. I do love that school. And you're also the director of the Phipps Dance Company. And we'll get to that in a minute. Mm-hmm. I want to introduce Greta Lewis. Hi. Nice to have you back. We've only had one show together, and I just feel like I know you guys. She has a BS in elementary ed with a minor in dance education from University of Wisconsin at River Falls. And she is the director of the Phipps Junior Dance Company. And I think we're going to get into it, but I think you guys work pretty well together.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. I'm sure you have a lot of fun when you do that show together. Okay, so first, I do want to go to Christy first, if that's okay. Mm-hmm. And could you start by telling us how you were encouraged to spend your life in dance and musical theater? Two of my favorite things.
Well, I grew up in a very musical family, in a very theater-oriented family, so it was easy to fall in with all of that, and I kind of made my own way by being dance-focused as opposed to just vocal or just theater. So, but musical theater has been a big part of my life since I was about 5, so I have lots of experience and love sharing that art form with everybody, all ages.
So are you saying your family was into it too?
Yeah, my sisters and my dad.
Yeah. Oh, that's just like me.
Right? Oh. And my mom used to sew costumes, so she wasn't on stage so much as being a seamstress. So.
That's really cool. I'm glad I asked you that question because I just feel like I know you so well. This is the 18th annual year of Dad's classes at the Phipps. I read that somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think 18 years for the dance company.
Okay, yes. I might have said that wrong.
Yeah, but classes have been going on for a while.
Even longer.
Okay, and you know what? I had to separate that in my mind because you have audition groups.
Yes.
And that would be the dance company and the junior dance company.
Correct.
And then I wasn't thinking about that when I wrote this down. So anyway, I'm glad you corrected me. Feel free to do that. And you are joining with another instructor, Stephanie Campbell, and you choreographed 17 dancers?
Yes.
You might have to correct that too.
No, there's...
That's right.
That is correct.
This year.
Okay, you're in the advanced group. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Impressive.
Yes.
Now, what are your goals for that group? And I really like to know what kind of dance you do.
Yeah, so the Phipps Dance Company, they are ages 9th through 12th grade. Can be from Hudson High School or any of the surrounding schools. This year it's all girls, but we're open always to male dancers as well. This will be our 18th year as a company. And Stephanie Campbell is the co-director along with me.
Okay.
And this year we have 17 dancers, and that's a big group for us. Usually we are more like around 15 or so. So even smaller, sometimes 13. But 17 is big, but it's going to be exciting. It's lots of fun to watch them all on stage at once. The show has got a variety of dance styles. So we'll have a lyrical, a contemporary piece, tap, jazz. What am I missing here? Ballet. Yes, definitely.
Hip-hop. I've got a list here to help me.
Yes. So all of the styles basically, and So we invite different choreographers from around the Twin Cities to come and work with the girls on the different styles. So it's not just Stephanie and I.
Really?
We choreograph, but then we invite choreographers from around
Oh, I think that's
the area.
wonderful.
And also that work at the Phipps sometimes.
And so, like, are you saying these are people active in the cities and
Yep.
theater and that?
Yes, so we try
Oh,
to
I
give,
think that's great.
yeah, we try to give the dancers exposure to artists from that they might not take class from at the Phipps sometimes. And stuff.
Right. Oh, what an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know, I hope if the audience wants to check on their phone, and you can Google the Phipps Center for the Arts.com, and then you can actually get to a video, a little snippet of people dancing, and it was like, my jaw dropped because it was so good.
Good.
And you could tell that they had been taught well. And then I read the little blurb that said, they only worked together for 2 or 3 nights or whatever. And I went, wow, that doesn't go that way at elementary school. I know that.
So the thing that separates the Phipps Dance Company from the dance program is just that they audition to get in to be in the group.
Yes.
And then they work throughout the year to culminate in their concert, their dance concert in the spring.
So this is the big one.
That's the big one. And we always get to have our special guests as the Phipps Junior Dance Company.
Yes, she's a special guest this year. Okay, we can talk about the dates later. Feel free to tell me all about this dancing now because I really like it. So, Greta, you've taught dance for 16 years?
Yes.
I had to look at my last year's notes. Tell the audience how you were encouraged to become a dance instructor.
Well, my background's very different than Christina's. I did not come from a dancing or theatrical performing family whatsoever, but I did take a community ed dance class that was tap and jazz when I was in 4th grade, and that was my first time trying it, and I was absolutely hooked and I loved it. And for me, dance has always been just a really wonderful outlet for creativity and to challenge myself in other ways. And I've always wanted to teach dance and share that with kids.
So you're doing what you
I'm
really
living
love.
the dream. I'm doing it.
I know you both are.
I know.
think that
It's
is
pretty
so
great.
cool because you are so positive and you've got such great goals. And when we're happy what you're doing, you love to go to work. You don't even call it
True.
work.
I call it my
I mean,
second
it's
home
just-
at the Phipps.
It's just fun. Well, the other thing is pretty impressive is that you've been a writer for the Wisconsin Department of Education State Dance Education Standards. Now, I know how hard that is for music.
Yes, it was
So
quite a process.
I can't imagine how you could even get together with other people and write these standards.
Right. It was a process that took several days over the course of a couple years, actually, to narrow down and really think about what would be the most helpful tools for educators of all backgrounds. So these standards were written not only for elementary music programs, but all the way up to K-12 and secondary standards as well. So we got together and did a lot of brainstorming, and we narrowed it down to being really 4 different categories. So there's create, which is when anyone choreographs dance. There's performing. There is responding, which is how you view dance and react to it. And then there is connecting. So that's kind of brings in the cultural components of dance and how it impacts society. So it was a wonderful experience. But
That's wonderful. I couldn't even remember any of that from the question before about a year ago. But here's what I'm thinking. Of course, I'm comparing a little bit to music. But like when you create, are they creating some of the dance? Is that what it means?
yeah, absolutely, yes.
And you're giving them the tools or whatever.
Exactly. So you're teaching them the fundamentals,
didn't know
time,
that.
space, rhythm,
Yeah.
and then they're putting it together and
Yeah.
figuring out how they can create their own movement.
Yeah, because I find that Fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very different skill set
Yeah.
to choreograph and to create dance than it is to learn and perform at somebody else's
Well,
movement.
I think so too. I mean, I tried a little bit of that on my classes when I was doing musicals. And,
Right.
well, one year I was doing the Nutcracker,
Excellent choice.
and it was like way too much. But anyway, 5th or 6th grade, I forget. And then I didn't know what to do for the Waltz of the Flowers because it's so hard and it's so long, and I had to cut part of it.
Sounds similar.
And I finally I asked for 4 volunteers, and I got 4 girls. And I took them aside, and we sort of made up a dance.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because I really did not have the skills to teach certain things.
It's amazing what their brains can come up with,
Yeah.
too,
But they
when they're
did,
so
and you know,
open.
they watch all the time. They're sponges. And they probably knew some of the moves, you know, from
Definitely.
the TV. And
Just
you know.
watching, sure.
But anyway, it turned out okay, but it was like a little stressful there. So anyway, it's really fun to hear that from you. So now we're going to go back to this. The special guest performance, I love that she says it that way, is by your junior dance company. And you're choreographing with Megan Bauer.
Correct,
So you're
yes.
co-choreographed.
Correct. Yes.
Hers. Okay, I better not try to say that
I
again.
know, co-choreographers, yes.
It's a lot.
Mouthful.
So what are some of the themes you're going to be doing, or the types of dance?
So we've got 2 different styles that our dancers will be performing. So they have a musical, theater, Broadway-inspired jazz that they will be performing. That's very flashy and just big and fun. And then they are going to be doing their lyrical dance, which is kind of a more modern, contemporary lyrical that is really beautiful. Megan choreographed that one mainly, and
Okay.
it's very elegant.
It
so.
seems like 2 opposites.
It very much is, yes, and that's what we love about the program we have with the companies is that well-roundedness and giving the kids the opportunity to excel in different styles.
Right.
So
And they'll learn. They're learning 4 this year.
yes,
So they only do 2 in our show, but they'll do the other pieces that they've learned during the year at other things like the
Like the May one.
like the expo.
Oh
and the
yeah, we'll
recital.
talk about that.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that because
Yes.
now what are the ages of your group?
so they are middle schoolers, so 6th to 8th grade this year, so about 11 to 13. Some have turned 14 now, and they're also auditioned. We have 13 this year, which is about what we usually have, but
Well, I know because when you were saying how big your group was, I was thinking about the stage at the Phipps. And I know it's a challenge sometimes, even with the choir, to get us all in there.
Yeah.
And we're all spread out because we're on the risers, but oh well. That's a different subject. What fun. I can't wait to hear this. I really have to go to this show. Now, here's what we were talking about. She explained to me that the classes are different than the company groups. And so when will the classes have a chance to perform then?
so in May,
In May.
on the 20th and 21st is our annual Dance and Review recital. So anyone who participates in our year-long dance program has the opportunity to perform in recitals. So,
exciting.
and those tickets are mainly taken up by family and friends right away. But if there are extras, they are on sale to the public as well. But
And so it's all those ages.
yes.
Could be, what's the youngest age? 6th?
3.
I thought you had younger ones.
Yes, for the recital, yes.
That's what I was
And they have their own, we should say too, May 17th is their recital.
For the
so
tiny-
Oh, that's
the
May
little,
17th.
The little ones, we do kind of on their own night, so it's not as long for them. Yes, and to keep things a little bit
Yeah.
more condensed. But
So that's another date that I really would enjoy that. 17th,
yes,
sitting in my.
And then our other recitals that are on the 20th and 21st.
yes.
So some of the ones we have ages from 7 Is that the youngest? Or
8. I think
Eight?
eight starts our regular children's classes with ballet, tap, jazz,
Yeah.
hip hop,
and
etc.
then the adult classes go up people in their 70s. So it's
That's
fun.
right. You did tell me
Yeah,
that
yeah,
earlier.
so it's fun.
Are you talking about April now?
April is the Phipps Dance Companies.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
May is
sorry.
the
and May
the whole
is
program.
the classes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I didn't know about that distinction. So
There's a lot going on over there in the spring. So
There are.
It's easy to kind of get mixed up about that. So
well,
Yeah.
it must be like that dance studio must be full all the time.
It is.
yeah.
And then you
Both
have to go
dance
after school.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's kind of takes away some of your
It
time.
is booked from about 3:30 till 9 every single night of the week.
Is this the one that has the mirrors and the
Yes.
bar?
Yes.
And that's where you teach your classes?
And we also use Art Studio 1 as well as
yeah.
an overflow because we do have a wonderful problem, but our program is
That's on the
expanding
other
so rapidly
side.
that, yes,
The
so
south side of the building.
yeah, so I actually teach most of my classes up there. And we tend to do tap up there a little bit more because it's a wood floor.
yeah.
So that part's kind of nice. And then the other studio, we have a different flooring that's better for ballet and
Right.
temporary.
Now, the only thing I have to hear more of is, in either one, you can just jump in, either one of you. I want to know some of the music I'm going to hear. You don't have to tell me everything, I know.
Well, it doesn't need to be a secret.
But I want
suppose.
to just see if I know any of it.
Yeah, go ahead, Christina.
Well, I've just been choreographing the big group. All 17 dancers in the company are going to be doing a tap piece in the show. And we're using music by a local Minneapolis artist named Corey Wong. He's a jazz guitarist.
Okay.
And
What fun.
yeah, just went to a concert of his last week and it was so fun. So
I was a guitar player for a while, and so I really admire someone who's.
yeah,
Now, did you say classical or jazz?
jazz.
Jazz.
Yeah,
Oh,
big band, kind of big band sound, but with the jazz, more modern jazz. Yeah.
how could you choreograph that?
Well, you'll just have to come see the show and see.
And then he plays, and they dance.
Well, he's not going to be here.
It's a recording.
Recording, yes.
Wow, that is really kind of avant-garde.
Yeah, we try to
think.
mix it up and pick unexpected music sometimes for things.
Well, you've got me hooked now. I was expecting her to say something I would recognize.
Well, and
But
that
I
might be
have
what
heard
we're
a
doing.
little bit. Okay.
The junior company is
Yeah.
doing the Sparkling Diamond from the Broadway version of Moulin Rouge. So perhaps that's maybe a little bit more familiar to the audience. But the
Rouge,
Broadway
oh
tour
my,
just came
yes.
through this last summer, and Megan and I went, and we were completely inspired. So yes,
I have to
it's very
say,
classic
that's-
jazz, sparkly costumes, kind of what you might more traditionally think of. So
That sounds really good too.
the show has both.
Oh my goodness, you guys are keeping me busy here. So anyway, I don't know what date I'll be there in April. I'll figure it out. I might even bring my husband. And then the May 17th, I suppose that's an evening concert.
It is, and the dates aren't quite, the times aren't quite set for the
Yeah.
May recitals yet. We're still figuring out those times based on how many dancers we have and how many families we have to fit in this space. We'll kind of determine how many shows we have. So that'll be coming.
Okay, now we've covered all the performances pretty much.
Yes.
So, oh wait, no we didn't. There's one at the Hudson Community Expo.
Yes, we do perform at the Hudson Community Expo, which May 7th at the high school.
Yes.
A variety of vendors and
Oh, yeah.
businesses and arts and dog rescues and all sort of things there. And then they have a stage set up with different performances throughout the day. And we
Okay.
are one of the groups that will be performing there.
So you don't really have a hard and fast time.
Not
really.
yet.
We usually get a time.
It's usually
Okay.
around 1,
Noon,
but
1 or
noon,
noon.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun. I think that's been going on for years, that expo.
Yes.
yes, it was in the old hockey arena. Well, I guess not old, but it was in the hockey arena
was it?
for many years. And then only in the last couple of years here, they switched it over to the high school after it was renovated. So
Okay,
The big commons.
I think I've definitely went to that one time.
Yeah, it's very fun. There's a lot to see.
Yeah. So anyway, it's good I wrote that down because I didn't really have it on my list. So now we really have to talk about the popular summer arts camp. And I've got the brochure right here. This is, I could not believe how much was in there. And here's the deal, it's June 26th, and then it runs through August 18. But now does every class run through that? Or is it different times? Like, do some meet for a week or?
Dance classes are running all 7 weeks this year.
Oh.
So we decided to do it that way. It had been the most popular way that folks have just enjoyed, kind of a short but kind of continual weekly time. Some of the other art forms are doing shorter, like week-long camps. So when you look at the brochure, you just have to check if it's a theater camp. It might not run all 7 weeks, but the dance classes this summer will.
Yeah, and it's pretty much every style of dance.
Yes, we worked hard to get it something for everyone.
I don't know
everything.
how you did that because that's a lot.
It was a process, but they
Yeah,
are very popular.
Everything we mentioned during our interview today. Oh, and the only other thing I have to ask you about, of course, I have to say it's dance, music, theater, and visual arts. So I know it's just so popular. The kids just love it.
Yeah, it's a great time to try something new too.
It's really
And some of the classes are
excellent.
already full.
And I know the
It's only
music people
March.
got together, and 2 of the gals came up with the show choir.
Yes, isn't that
You probably
exciting?
know about that.
So sweet, yeah, I love it.
Because it's Erin Mayer and I know Lori Bonman. She was my student too, but she taught at Holton. Yeah, this past year. But there's one other thing that was on the list that I really was interested in asking you guys about. I didn't really put it on the list though. But anyway, it's called strength and conditioning. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
What are you suggesting or doing for that? For dancing, it's so strenuous.
Well, Megan, that's Megan's class. Right?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that. I'm not teaching it, but I should probably be taking it. Honestly, truly. So Megan Bauer has offered it in the past, but she's offering it again this summer. Ooh. And dance is so unique in that it's not only an art form, but it is a physical, athletic feat as well, a sport, really, it can be. So to be able to execute it your body has to be trained to safely perform those things. So we've really tried to up our understanding and our focus on that at the Phipps. We've actually incorporated some strength training into our classes with resistance bands and really focus on good, healthy bodies. So a lot of students asked for Megan to bring that back. They loved her class. I mean, if you talk to them right after the class, I'm not sure they would say that they are like loving it, but they do. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. They love the challenge, and so it's very focused on strengthening those muscles needed to perform.
Yes,
dance.
Because my goodness, you can't just dance for an hour and expect it all to work, and then if you're pulling a muscle or something, and
exactly.
I can imagine for dance it's more important than anything.
Exactly, and a lot of those things that Megan teaches in the class are things that then you can continue at home and work on too to keep your body healthy and fit. So
yeah, and you know, I identify with this because I've had 5 surgeries and I've been in PT for a long times to get back to normal.
Yeah.
You know, and walking and the whole bit. And orthopedics is really, I don't think I'd be walking like I do now if it weren't for that. So when I saw that, I just went, oh, yeah, because even the little ones, the younger ones, I should say, I can't imagine how they overdo things.
Oh,
and they want to just do everything.
They really do, Bobbi, and you have to really train them and teach them
Yeah.
how to properly execute and use their little bodies because, yes, they do like to try the most difficult thing they can see, whether they're ready or not. So,
yeah, and that thing about the bands, oh my, I have some of those at home myself. But yeah, I'm so glad that you're talking about it. and that you can go there, because I think a lot of times it's ignored a bit. And even, I have to say this, even at Women's Club today, I'm sorry, Garden Club I was at, because gardening is strenuous, you know, for some of us.
Absolutely.
And we had this lady do 45 minutes on conditioning for gardening and that.
Oh, that's
And
great.
getting your body in shape, and you know.
Yeah.
And she had us doing this stuff too.
A lot up and down.
Even though some was sitting on a chair and doing
Yeah.
it, you know, or standing up and holding on, and you know. So anyway, I believe in that.
Yep, you want to be able to keep doing the things you love,
I
right?
totally believe in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I'm really glad that I'm back. Oh, and you know, one thing I have to share with you. I was singing in a group called the St. Croix Sacred Ensemble, and we had an offer to sing and perform at the Guthrie.
Oh, nice.
So this is about 3, 4, 5 years ago, well, way before COVID. We were singing and doing movements to different, forgot the name of it. But anyway, here we are on the stage, and we had to get in these awful positions, like what was happening, because it was after the shooting in Norway.
Oh, okay.
In the Y camp or the youth camp. And that's what the story was about. Someone had written it, and then we had to kind of portray that in our movements. It wasn't really dance, but wow, that was strenuous. And a lot of us were like, I can hardly manage, you know. I can't imagine a whole week of that. Or even a month of performances, because we had to do 2 on the same day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the songs were kind of fun. But oh well. Anyway, that was like my experience. But oh well, it's so much fun talking to you people. I just really need you back.
Well, we enjoy being here, and we really appreciate the opportunity to
It's
speak
just-
about our performances and our companies and the whole program at the Phipps, and we're really proud of it.
I know that, and I can tell from your attitudes and how positive you are. It's definitely a success. And it goes back for me a long time, back to the days they didn't have dance there. And I keep thinking, somehow, somebody figured out we've got to have it.
Yeah.
Because it's really important to have all the facets of the arts, like I told you today. I really think that's so important, because it's ownership, it's what the students like, and whatever they can get into and improve on and do and enjoy, and it's really fun. And that's what you do in your classes. You make it really fun for them. So it's a lot of fun. Well, I think we covered everything. I just, you know how much I enjoy having you two here, talking to you.
Appreciate it.
So I want to tell our audience there's lots of information at the Phipps. This brochure is already out on the art camp. And I hope you enjoyed our interview, learned about what they're doing there. Come to some of the performances. I know you would enjoy it. And I just can tell you that it's something that I really have to put into my life. Something like that I really enjoy, watching students and that. So be sure you get a ticket. Come down to the Phipps in Hudson. And I want to thank you all for watching.